This man need to be stopped. This man needs to be stopped. This is this is pure survival at this point, guys. Shout out to all the people that's been rocking and rolling with me through these surviving series. There's been a lot of headaches, a lot of stress. You know what I mean? I've been missing sleep. You know what I mean? I ain't been missing meals, but I have been missing sleep during survival. You know what I mean? Salute to the prophet. Salute to Red. Jay Z and his hairstyle must be stopped, guys. Now, I'm taking this very, very personal. I'm taking this to the heart, guys, because I grew up off of Janet Jackson. I grew up off of Janet Jackson. So I'm not going to let Jay Z and his hairstyle try to stop Janet Jackson from shining. I'm not going to let you do that, Jay Z. I'm not going to let you do that. Between you and Diddy Glover, both of y'all should be paying for my doctor's bills. Both of y'all should be paying for my diabetic medication and my blood pressure medication and my neuralizer. You know what I mean? And my albuterol. Because this is pure survival at this point. Janet Jackson is a legend, okay? Now, I ain't got nothing against Beyonce. Now, I made fun of her looking high and spaced out. I made fun of her alleged drug dealer, things like that. Her leaving cocaine allegedly on the back of bathroom stalls. I made jokes about that. But I don't have nothing against Beyonce. You know what I mean? Am I the biggest Beyonce fan in the world? No, I actually never was. I believe she can sing. She's talented. All of those things. I don't take that away from her. But when you talk about Janet Jackson, Beyonce can't stand a candle with Janet Jackson. You know what I mean? And all Janet Jackson was doing was speaking out in the interview, Jay Z. And your hairstyle is gonna get upset, and you gonna think Janet Jackson ain't the Grammy Awards. You can just stand up and say, "Well, Janet, you need to put respect on Beyonce's name." You know what I'm saying? You telling them white folks up there in the higher uppers to not to blackball Janet Jackson? She got iconic music. She got iconic music. You know what I'm saying? So for you to try to blackball her, because all her fans and stuff been hitting me up on Instagram. Shout out to all the Janet Jackson's fans on Instagram sending me posts saying, "Look, Jamil, can you react to this? Jay-Z's trying to stop Janet from getting in movies, and he trying to stop her from putting out music and things like that." Janet is like, I think 3,500 years old. She's been in this game for a long time, Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? We are surviving Jay-Z's hairstyle and his blackballing in this. Everybody always talk about you try to blackball somebody, Jay-Z. Now I believe it. You need to put respect on Michael Jackson's name. Surviving the fact that you better put respect on Michael. This is Michael Jackson's sister, dude. Who do you think you dealing with? All Janet Jackson said was that Beyonce, yes, that she heard that Beyonce, songwriters out there talking about Beyonce stealing their music and stealing their publishing. You know what I mean? So she didn't even go all into detail. And now you look at Janet Jackson. Who can look at those eyes? We are surviving Jay-Z's hairstyle. Janet Jackson was always the nicest, sweetest like person in the damn world. You know what I mean? Only time Janet Jackson really shocked us when we saw that she was with Jermaine Dupri. When we found out that she was with Jermaine Dupri, that's when all like ugly niggas got up and said, "Oh, I had a chance." You mean to tell me I could have been with Janet Jackson too? When she got with Jermaine Dupri, that was the only big surprise. But other than that, since the Cosby Show, since all that, Janet was always sweet. Okay, even when she was with Tupac and they was sitting there with the blanket and they was having the poetic justice moment. How could you try to blackball our icon, our legend, Janet Jackson, all because she said, like, y'all remember I defended Beyonce when they said Beyonce was trying to change her skin complexion. And they were saying, this is probably why Janet probably feels some type of way. People were saying that you was trying to look like Michael Jackson. That's her brother, Beyonce. People was already saying you was changing your skin complexion, trying to look like Michael. And I said she don't look like Michael. She look like Tito. She look like Jermaine. You know what I'm saying? So you never know. Janet might have felt some kind of way about that. That you tried to change your complexion, trying to look like you a part of their family. You know what I mean? This is pure survival at this point. So Jay-Z, you couldn't let it be one-on-one, right? You couldn't let two women go at it with each other just far as making good music. Not in any violence or nothing like that. A Janet song versus a Beyonce song. You know what I mean? Why couldn't you let it be like that? You fought Solange one-on-one. You fought Solange on the elevator one-on-one. So why couldn't they have a one-on-one? This is pure survival. Salute to everybody that's coming in the building. Smash that like button. I just feel like Janet Jackson was being honest. I feel like she was being honest. There's already writers out there saying that Beyonce was stealing their music. She can't just ride off on a horse and try to go country. After all the shit she did to these R&B singers, now she trying to run over there to country. Then you're going to have country singers saying that she stole their music. Surviving the fact that there are already people out there talking about Beyonce stole their music. So they're gonna ask a legend. They're gonna ask an icon like Janet Jackson. Like, what do you think about Beyonce supposed to have been stealing people's publishing and them writing music for her, and she taking all the credit, acting like these people ain't never did nothing. That's why I look. You know what, Janet? Your brother was telling the truth. When Michael said, "Kick me, fix me, you can even hate me, hold me, squeeze me, don't tease me." All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. They don't really care about us, Janet. Jay-Z and Beyonce and his hairstyle don't really care about us. Michael said it the best. You know what I mean? This is pure survival, guys. And y'all know when we're surviving Jay-Z's hairstyle, we must meditate. This man trying to blackball Janet Jackson, and this is just heart-wrenching. This is heart-wrenching. And everybody was in love with Janet when they were kids. Janet, I got your back. Heard from a friend today, and he said you were in town. Suddenly the memories to be getting in my mind. How can I be strong? I've asked myself time and time again. Said I'll never fall in love with you again. This is pure survival at this point, guys. This is pure survival. We are surviving Jay-Z's hairstyle once again, trying to blackball an icon because she told the truth about Beyonce. This is pure survival at this point.
Be honest, and I don't think I'm.
You don't lie, Janet. Are you out to hurt people's feelings?
Janet Jackson might be America's sweetheart, but when it comes to seemingly calling Beyoncé out, she spares no expense.
Okay. She was supposed to perform at the party, but she missed it because it was storming in New York. And
so you're just saying she's irresponsible?
I'm not saying she's there.
Look at that. Even Janet was being nice. When Beyonce and Janet had a song, Beyonce stood her up. Probably was in the damn, what's that room? The trailer in there powdering her nose. And Janet was still nice. Janet still spoke about it nice and made up an excuse for you, Beyonce. This is pure survival at this point.
Be honest, and I don't think I'm.
You don't lie, Janet. Are you out to hurt people's feelings?
Janet Jackson might be America's sweetheart, but when it comes to seemingly calling Beyoncé out, she spares no expense.
Okay. She was supposed to perform at the party, but she missed it because it was storming in New York. And
so you're just saying she's irresponsible?
I'm not saying she's there.
And she's not even the only one calling the Queen Bey out. Others are outright name dropping.
Internet, Beyonce's internet. So is it not fair to come to the Queen about evolving her business practice?
Turns out the reason no one has really been able to say her name all this time is that they've been legally gagged.
The reason why people who work for Beyonce don't talk is because they're all on NDAs. Because that's also how she works. She silences people so that nobody is...
If you think...
See, now you silence people. But you trying to silence Janet Jackson? Janet Jackson is a legend. Y'all ain't gonna be able to silence Janet Jackson? Look at me, Beyonce, when I'm talking to you. You trying to sit there, I don't know if them braids is too tight or you think that people don't see you just getting lighter and lighter as the days go. So why don't you think that Janet Jackson would notice something like that? You know what I mean? Rest in peace to the late, great Michael Jackson. But when Michael started to get lighter, Janet noticed it first. Janet and Michael was very close, goddammit. So she noticed when her brother started to get light out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? He was getting light when it was hot outside. It was hot outside. You know what I'm saying? And he was getting lighter. And that's the same thing that's happening to you, Beyonce. So don't give me the Bobby Brown lip. Don't give me the Bobby Brown lip. This is the I know you're getting bored dealing with him. I know you miss my love and my thug bug love. And this is the Ja Rule Bobby Brown lip. Beyonce, this is pure survival at this point. How you gonna let your husband try to blackball Janet Jackson because she just said that you've been getting lighter and lighter and you've been stealing songs? This is pure survival at this point.
Yes.
And then people get NDAs. You can't shut Janet Jackson up though.
To the queen about evolving her business practice.
Turns out the reason no one has really been able to say her name all this time is that they've been legally gagged.
The reason why people who work for Beyonce don't talk is because they're all on NDAs. Because that's also how she works. She silences people so that nobody gets.
If you think of power in the music industry, how many people do you think can stand next to Beyonce? Probably not a lot. Word on the street over the years has been that climbing to those heights may not have involved some very unethical moves by the Knowles family, but they were just tales by the moonlight until Janet Jackson also spoke up. Agreed. Beyonce's name does open unimaginable doors.
Yes. Let's go back. Janet Jackson, excuse me, I'm sorry for the people, like I told y'all before, they're talking about why you keep stopping it. This is what I do, goddammit. It's a method to my madness. Janet Jackson just had the poetic justice braids. I had to rewind it because she had the poetic justice braids. And I'm going to tell you one thing, Jay-Z, those people in the higher uppers, those old white men with all that money, you can't blackball Janet Jackson, dude. You know how many of those white guys that used to want Janet Jackson breasts for Christmas? All they wanted was Janet Jackson's breasts for Christmas. Who did not want some Janet Jackson titties for Christmas? God damn it. This is pure survival at this point.
Stand next to Beyonce. Probably not a lot. Word on the street over the years has been that climbing to those heights may not have involved some very unethical moves by the Knowles family, but they were just tales by the moonlight until Janet Jackson also spoke up. Agreed. Beyonce's name does open unimaginable doors in the industry. But do you know the last name of the singer who was one of the most famous men to walk the earth? Jackson. And this is where the singer's power comes.
Jackson, goddammit. Now, Beyonce, you want to sit there. Now, Jay-Z, I'm going to tell you this right now. Everybody's saying that Beyonce trying to look like him. This is Michael, rest in peace. This is Michael before he went and changed his color. You know what I mean? You got Jermaine, Tito, Marlon, the other one, I forget all their names. Michael, Jermaine, Tito, Marlon, and Jermaine. Okay, these are the 5 Jacksons. And this is who Janet's probably upset because you trying to look like her brother. You wanted to be a part of the Jacksons now all of a sudden. This is pure survival at this point.
They were just tales by the moonlight until Janet Jackson also spoke up. Agreed. Beyonce's name does open unimaginable doors in the industry. But do you know the last name of the singer who was one of the most famous men to walk the earth? Jackson. And this is where the singer's power comes in. Having influence in the industry just as much as, or to many even more than Beyonce, Janet Jackson has been exposed to quite a lot in her years in the industry, and it seems a significant part of that might have been victims of the Queen Bee's cruelty telling their stories. Judging purely by her sheer level of success, backed by being one of the most decorated and awarded women of all time in the music industry, Beyonce's talent is undeniable, even to the blind. The thing is just that no one is denying her talent. What people are saying is that almost everyone who has worked with her has probably been roped into a deal that they've regretted for the rest of their lives.
People been roped in deals for the rest of their life dealing with you and your husband Jay-Z's hairstyle. This is pure survival, Beyonce. And Janet Jackson is a legend. And she's speaking and she's standing up for them females and the male writers that been writing your music. And she using her power. And I'm glad Janet's standing up for the music industry. You're not standing up. Allegedly, you getting over on these girls. So Janet is using her power and her strength. We are surviving Beyonce still in music and Janet Jackson stepping up.
Much as, or to many even more than Beyonce, Janet Jackson has been exposed to quite a lot in her years in the industry, and it seems a significant part of that might have been victims of the Queen Bee's cruelty telling their stories. Judging purely by her sheer level of success, backed by being one of the most decorated and awarded women of all time in the music industry, Beyonce's talent is undeniable, even to the blind. The thing is just that no one is denying her talent. What people are saying is that almost everyone who has worked with her has probably been roped into a deal that they've regretted for the rest of their lives. And for the ones that didn't agree to work with her, people are saying she may have flat out taken their creations without their permission. Of course, it may sound a little improbable, again, because this woman has literally won virtually every award you can think of, but she may be proof that winning awards doesn't necessarily mean you're the most noble in your craft. There have been stories of her stealing production, lyrics, whole songs, and even musical performance routines.
Now you see that? It's already rumors about you stealing music, songs, and the dance moves. So for Janet Jackson to say what's already out there, I'm not gonna let you come at Janet. I'm not gonna let Jay-Z or his hairstyle come at Janet. Beyonce, I'm not saying that you're not talented. I do miss this color when you was this color. I'm not saying you're not talented. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is for Janet Jackson to step up for these young people that's getting burnt and ripped off allegedly by you and Jay-Z's hairstyle, I'm glad that she's speaking up. You know what I mean? Because Jay-Z don't want nothing with Jermaine Dupri. Yes, Jermaine Dupri is only like 4'2". But that doesn't mean that he can't get down when it's time to get down. This is pure survival. All Jermaine got to do is call Jay-Z and say, look, remember we did the song Money Ain't a Thing? And you going to come at my woman Janet? Jermaine, you better stand up. Because I'm standing up, and this is pure survival at this point.
After all, she is Beyoncé, so there are probably not a lot of people out there that can challenge her for any of these things. Unluckily for her, Janet Jackson doesn't seem to be one of these people. Jackson, who has already had a few heated moments with the Lemonade singer over the years, seems to have had enough of Bey getting away with her exploitative ways. Another thing that gives even more merit to the alleged claims about Beyoncé by Janet is that she's not even the first or second person to make accusations like these against the singer.
See, Janet Jackson is not the first to make these claims, Beyonce, and Janet Jackson is tired of your stuff. She's tired. You know what I mean? The woman is 3,000 and something, 3,500 years old. I love Janet. Everybody loved Janet. Like I said, you cannot deny she's the sweetest, nicest person in the human nation. You know what I mean? And Janet always stayed the same complexion. She had the Jackson nose forever, but she always stayed the same complexion. You know what I mean? And always kept the same energy, Beyonce. Why can't you take constructive criticism? She watched her brother change his complexion. You know what I mean? Things like that when he was feeling unpretty and different things like that. We make mistakes and stuff like that, but who's making you do that? Who's allegedly got you doing it? Is it Jay-Z's hairstyle? We want to know.
So there are probably not a lot of people out there that can challenge her for any of these things. Unluckily for her, Janet Jackson doesn't seem to be one of these people. Jackson, who has already had a few heated moments with the Lemonade singer over the years, seems to have had enough of Bey getting away with her exploitative ways. Another thing that gives even more merit to the alleged claims about Beyoncé by Janet is that she's not even the first or second person to make accusations like these against the singer. I know things like these generally aren't uncommon with successful people in the entertainment industry, but the thing with cases that are fake is that they're usually from people looking to land a major payday. Now, considering Janet Jackson's family and history, it seems unlikely for that to be the case with her, making it easier for several fans to take her word for it. Is this it? Is this how one of
Janet Jackson do not need to talk about Beyonce for no clout or for no money. These are the poetic justice braids, Beyonce. There's no way that you can top the poetic justice braids. You had a lot of nice hairstyles, even if you was drunk in love and on powder. But I'm going to tell you right now, these are the Janet Jackson box braids. There's no way. This is pure survival. And I'm glad Janet Jackson is stepping up and she's bringing back the poetic justice braids on that ass.
Entertainment industry, but the thing with cases that are fake is that they're usually from people looking to land a major payday. Now, considering Janet Jackson's family and history, it seems unlikely for that to be the case with her, making it easier for several fans to take her word for it. Is this it? Is this how one of the greatest vocalists of our time finally gets brought down?
His team, like the people who work with her, these writers that I'm talking about that are exploited, they're us.
Even though she's mostly managed to stay out of controversy.
Y'all see that? And Janet Jackson is speaking up for people like her. When she said us, we are the ones that Beyonce's stealing the music from and not giving us the credit and giving us $35, a year for publishing, having us work at Arby's and McDonald's and Wendy's and stuff like that. While they billionaires. Janet Jackson is standing up for them. That's why I told y'all, we all love you, Janet. Standing up for these young people. This is pure survival at this point.
Is this it? Is this how one of the greatest vocalists of our time finally gets brought down?
His team, like the people who work with her, these writers that I'm talking about that are exploited, they're us.
Even though she's mostly managed to stay out of controversies, Beyoncé has been caught up in quite a lot of them throughout her years in the industry. From cases like the famous elevator incident involving her sister Solange and her husband Jay-Z in a brawl to 50 Cent, revealing that she almost tried to attack him over Jay, Queen Bey has been busy. There was also the time she mentioned that the Jackson family had been exploited by their parents because they were broke, unlike her who was born with a silver spoon. I say this just in case you're wondering why Janet Jackson might be out to get her. Anyway, that's not all Beyoncé has been busy with. If you're a millennial, Beyoncé has probably been part of your life for as long as you can remember. From her beginnings as part of the best-selling girl group Destiny's Child, to an even more extraordinary solo career, iconic film roles, and business endeavors, Beyoncé has evolved as a creative and human being in front of everyone's eyes. She's always been on top of the game while many other stars in the industry have dwindled away. What's the secret behind her immense success? Probably her consistent delivery. It's hard thinking of constant #1 hits, original dance performances, and eye-popping visual music videos. And when an artist can't keep up with the relentless demand for originality, they steal. It seems Beyoncé might know a thing or two about that, because it turns out she's a pro at it.
Supposed to make. And she's been kind of able to move around in the industry and do this because she makes songwriters sign an NDA when working with her. And
ever since her...
Wow, y'all heard that? She makes songwriters sign a NDA. Meaning if I write a song for Beyonce right now, I got to sign an NDA basically saying that I didn't write this. This song has nothing to do with me. So if they give me $5,000 for a song and it makes millions, it sell millions, it's like it gets swept under the rug as if I had nothing to do with it. And I just got 5,000 and I'm watching her and Jay-Z up in the clouds, me and my spouse. This is pure survival at this point.
It's hard thinking of constant #1 hits, original dance performances, and eye-popping visual music videos. And when an artist can't keep up with the relentless demand for originality, they steal. It seems Beyoncé might know a thing or two about that, because it turns out she's a pro at it.
Supposed to make. And she's been kind of able to move around in the industry and do this because she makes songwriters sign an NDA when working with her. And
ever since her Destiny's Child days, Queen Bey has been accused of stealing songwriting credits for songs she didn't write, lifting choreography from dancers without permission, and even straight up jacking songs from struggling artists and then paying a settlement fee to shut them up.
Wow.
Beyoncé is hardly the only mainstream artist that does this, but her rap sheet is definitely one of the longest, and it started with forcing the hit If I Were a Boy out of the arms of an at the time upcoming act. This #1 ballad from Beyoncé's I Am, Sasha Fierce, was written by B.C. Jean, who was inspired by the idea after a recent breakup. After writing the song...
Wow, so that girl right there wrote that song, If I Was a Boy, I would much have done her. If I was a girl... Wow, so that's the girl who wrote that song. See, listen, I'm not really cracking down on Beyonce because of this, because Drake got people that write his stuff. You know what I mean? Some people have it. My only thing is the fact that you not giving credit to the people who wrote it, or are just, making them shut up and not giving them, even if you shut up. If I signed the NDA, but I wrote a song that makes 100 million, can I get more than 5,000 though? You know what I mean? Isn't that fair? I won't say nothing. I won't tell nobody I wrote this song. But can you pay me fairly? Like, we got families too. We got families too. You know what I mean? That's all. I'm all about fairness. And the fact that Jay-Z trying to blackball Janet Jackson, you know what I mean? I'm upset about that because Janet is just speaking up for it. She just calling it what it is. And this is what's been going on.
mainstream artist that does this, but her rap sheet is definitely one of the longest, and it started with forcing the hit If I Were a Boy out of the arms of an at the time upcoming act. This #1 ballad from Beyonce's I Am Sasha Fierce was written by BC Jean, who was inspired by the idea after a recent breakup. After writing the song with producer Toby Gad, she started shopping the song to labels as her lead single. However, once Beyonce's team got a sniff of it, they decided to let Ms. Carter record her own version.
Wow. So that's the girl who song If I Was a Boy. That's crazy.
Considering she didn't intend for anyone else to sing the song. It's an amazing compliment, but I was like, that's great, but it's going to be on my album, she said in 2011, and it can be on my album too.
And this poor girl right here, she said it's cool Beyonce can have a If I Was a Boy song. That's the song I think that they talking about. She said it's an amazing compliment. It was an amazing compliment, but I was like, that's great, but it's going to be on my album. That song was supposed to be on this girl's album. So even though she like, oh, Beyonce, she can take the song, but damn, that's great. Matter of fact, she did the song, but she changed it to her version. But this girl is like, that's going to be on my album. That's going to make people not even buy her album because they're going to go towards Beyonce, John. This is a survivor. She's surviving Jay-Z's hairstyle and surviving Beyonce's alleged song theft. She wrote If I Was a Boy. This is pure survival at this point.
Like, that's great, but it's going to be on my album, she said in 2011, and it can be on my album too. I just didn't realize how it worked. Sounds like someone was taken for a ride. BC later came out to admit that the situation had been exaggerated by the fans. The story is...
You see how you said, who is she? Look at this. This is crazy. None of us know who this girl is. I don't know who the hell she is. You know what I mean? Like I don't know who this girl is, but come to find out, I guess she wrote that song, If I Was a Boy. And they said Beyonce wrote her own version. So it ain't like the exact same words. I mean, I'm just getting this shit at the same time. And Janet Jackson is calling this out. I don't know who this girl is. She looked like, she was in one of them movies like Hackers or something like that, or one of Charlie's Angels. I don't know. This is pure survival. I know that part. Pure survival at this point. And look, see, how the fuck did Mama remote? You see what I'm talking about? Now look, this is why I told y'all Jay-Z and his hairstyle and Diddy Glover. Look, my remote control just mysteriously, come on now. My remote control just mysteriously broke down. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, this is pure survival at this point. Now, all of a sudden, my remote control and my batteries just start acting crazy. This is pure survival.
It's not as bad as everyone's saying it is, she said. It's pretty much the best breakup ever and the best experience ever. And again, it'll be on my album coming out in January. However, many fans took that to mean that Beyonce might have once again forced her hand to clear the air. After all, there is nothing the Grammy-winning singer seems to hate more than controversy. Nonetheless, this is just where the stories begin.
Still aren't done. People still aren't getting paid. People still aren't being seen. People still aren't being heard. People are still being silenced. People are still under NDAs and some more.
The woman's alleged thieving abilities aren't just limited to songs. Even routines aren't safe while Bey is on top. Beyonce's choreography is iconic, but considering how long she's been in the game, it's probably hard for her and her team to constantly think of new and original ideas. That's probably why they lifted inspiration from Belgian choreographer and Teresa de Keersmaker. Fans made side-by-side comparison videos to illustrate exactly how much was copied.
Wow.
Beyonce later
That looked
admitted
just
that
like
the
it.
video was meant to be an homage.
That looked just like it. That lady is like, oh my God, she has to be 10,500 years old. This lady. If look at that video, that looked just like Beyonce Jones. They definitely stole that.
Long she's been in the game, it's probably hard for her and her team to constantly think of new and original ideas. That's probably why they lifted inspiration from Belgian choreographer and Teresa de Keersmaker.
Look at this lady right here. She looked like the Nun. She looked like she could have been in the movie The Nun. You know what I'm saying? This is pure survival. You hold this candle up, she look like she could have been in one of them scary movies. Oh my God, I'm starting to be scared right now. This is pure survival. But listen, ma'am, I'm helping you out right now. So if you are the nun or in one of them scary movies, you shouldn't come after me at night. You should go after Beyonce and Jay-Z's hairstyle in a scary movie at night. Not me, ma'am. I'm speaking up to this. This was your video and you 10,500 years old. You know what I'm saying? And I'm showing them your video you shot all them years ago, Beyonce's choreography still in that video. Look at this. Look how the video look just alike. Watch this.
Maker. Fans made side-by-side comparison videos to illustrate exactly how much was copied.
Wow.
Beyonce later
It looked just like
the
it.
video was meant to be an homage. Clearly, the ballet Rosas Danced Rosas was one of many references for my video countdown, she said in a statement to the New York Times. It was one of the inspirations used to bring the feel and look of the song to life. Anne still wasn't happy about it and expected Bey's team to at least give her a heads up instead of directly stealing her.
Wow.
I wanted to be proud of something. I personally wanted to have a degree. I've never had one. And then when I
didn't even know all this. I'm going to just tell you that right now.
Such action.
So the lady wasn't even that mad. She just was like, damn, if Beyonce and them would have gave me a heads up that they was kind of taking my idea or whatever, she probably would have took it as a compliment. You know what I'm saying? Like if I take somebody's, like let's say video, I do something in my video that was done in the video years ago, like Prince or James Brown. I'm a huge James Brown fan, okay? So let's say I took something from Papa's got a brand new bag. You know what I mean? Hey, my sister, dun, 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 Papa's in the scene. Dun, 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 dun. I'm sorry, I had to sing that part. I'm sorry. But if I took something from James' video, I'm going to tell you, look, I got this idea from James. And if anybody in James's family, if this is going to make a bunch of money, here, y'all can, I'm going to break y'all off. I'm not just going to take y'all stuff and then not say nothing and pretend that I didn't steal it from James.
And I can't imagine Beyonce and her team are not aware of it, she said at the time. This wasn't the only time she was alleged to have lifted dance routines from someone else and played it off as hers. Dancer and choreographer Marlon Oritz also called Bey out for stealing dance moves from her troupe's show, De La Guarda. She took her grievances to social media where she wrote in a lengthy Instagram post that, while inspiration is nice, she and her struggling colleagues would at least like a little credit. But it seems the Knowles family doesn't seem to believe in giving credits. Not for dance routines, and definitely not for music, as this was alleged to have been the case with her hit song Survivor as well. I know what you're thinking, and yes, you're right. Her reputation for song stealing even persisted as far back as through her Destiny's Child days. Producer Terrence T. Rob Robinson filed a $200 million lawsuit against Destiny's Child for stealing his song Glorious, which he produced back in 2000. He showed the song to Bey's father.
Look, somebody said, are you secretly Bernie Mac? Yo, that's so funny. Y'all got to know, I've been hearing the Bernie Mac thing for the longest. And it's like, the thing about this is, right, if you think that I'm trying to sound like this legend, this iconic guy, right, tell me what jokes that you hear that you say, oh, he stole Bernie Mac's joke. The only thing people can say is, oh, he sounds similar or he sounds like Bernie Mac. Well, tell me what joke, because I can say some shit that's up to date, like right now. You know what I'm saying? Like if I just start tearing this man up right now, but I'm not going to do that because Mr. Knowles looked like he got an attitude. Mr. Knowles looked like he pissed off that I'm talking about his daughter. But how you going to be mad at me because I'm talking about your daughter when your daughter going around allegedly stealing shit, dude? You should have been mad at Jay-Z's hairstyle. That's what you should have been mad at. Excuse me, guys. Pardon me, because Beyonce's dad looked like he got an attitude. Because you mad at Beyonce's mother. She left you, didn't she, dude? Like, so don't get upset with me, man. I'm telling you. But anyway, we are surviving Beyonce, and we are surviving Jay-Z's hairstyle. This is pure survival at this point.
Manager Matthew Knowles, expecting the song to kickstart his career. Matthew disappeared with the song, and months later, Survivor was born without Terrence's name or credit. I know right now I would be one of the biggest, most sought-after producers. he said at a news conference about the alleged theft. It's unclear what became of the suit, but given the Knowles family history with cases like these.
Wow, so Beyonce's dad allegedly stole something from a person. So wow, you had stealing roots. You had stealing in your genes. This is pure survival. So Beyonce, you know what? I need to stop being so hard on you. And boy, when I look at this complexion right here, Beyonce, boy, I can tell you definitely had lightened things up over the years. Because this is the Destiny's Child color. This is the Destiny's Child color. Yo, you did good in that movie last night too. Kelly, I'm talking to you. You did good. I knew you was gonna sleep with that dude. You know what I mean? He was supposed to be your client. I knew you was gonna give it to him because you was going through so much with your husband at home, him being a mommy's boy, stuff like that, Kelly. But you did a great goddamn job. If y'all haven't seen that Tyler Perry movie with Kelly Rowland on Netflix, go watch it. I just knew it. When you let that man grab your hand and had you painting all in the thing, I knew you was gonna give up them skins. You was gonna give up the snappy nappy dugout. The snappy nappy dugout? Yes, the snappy nappy goddamn dugout. This is pure survival at this point. But back to you, goddammit. I missed this color. And you, sir, I'm blaming you for Beyonce alleged theft now. Because you were stealing people's stuff. And it was in her jeans. It was in her jeans. You know what I mean? Like Genuine. In those jeans, many times, many prices, any more room for me in those jeans. It was in those jeans. So Beyonce couldn't help it. This is pure survival.
It was probably settled out of court. As horrible as this alleged thieving pattern has been, it's not the only vice that's been attached to Beyonce's name.
The percentage that we get of publishing matters because it's all we got and it's worth so much less now. But does that stop her from taking publishing despite that?
The singer has also been accused of lying about her creativity, specifically writing some of her biggest songs. Crazy in Love is easily one of the best pop tracks of the 2000s. And according to Beyoncé, the song was the product of a genius collaboration between herself and producer Rich Harrison. The song came from me actually looking crazy one day in the studio, Beyoncé said at the time. I said, I'm looking crazy right now. And Rich Harrison, the producer, was like, that's the song. Huh. That's not how Rich tells the story. According to him, after he played a sample of the track for Beyoncé, she then told him, I love the idea. Now write the song. I'll be back in 2 hours. Although he was hungover, he managed to write the full song and play all the instruments before Bey got back. The only thing she wrote was the bridge, which is hardly the same as writing the whole song. Again, this is only where the allegations begin for Queen Bey lying about writing her own songs. Word in the blogs also had it that she lied about writing Irreplaceable.
Wow. No. Irreplaceable, Neo wrote that. Now, we already know. Neo came out, said it. To the left, everything you own in that box, to the left. You know what I mean? Like, we know that. That was Neo that wrote that. I can have another you in a minute. Matter of fact, she'll be here in a minute. That's how that was supposed to be. I've been heard Neo say that. You know what I mean? So if Beyonce tried to say that she wrote that, then she definitely was lying. This is pure survival at this point.
Again, this is only where the allegations begin for Queen Bey lying about writing her own songs. Word in the blogs also had it that she lied about writing Irreplaceable. Back in 2008, she came under fire when she told an audience at a concert that she wrote Irreplaceable for fellow women, except she didn't write it, Nayo did.
Yes.
I honestly wrote that song for myself, he said in 2011. However, a man singing it comes across a little bit misogynistic, a little bit mean. Although Bey didn't write it, Nayo said he had no...
Why does this woman keep calling him Neo? This name is not Neo, lady. His name is Neo. Salute to you with the great information, but his name is Neo. It's not Neo. It sounds like you saying Mayo. This is pure survival. We're surviving the fact that she's calling him Neo. You know what I'm saying? But Neo did write that song, and when he said that he wrote that song, he wasn't trying to play Beyonce. He wasn't trying to, you know what I mean? None of that. But he definitely wrote to the left, to the left. You know what I'm saying?
Problem letting her take songwriting credit because she put her own spin on it. Fans say this is also why Nayo has never dealt with her ever since. The user with the information wrote, Baby Tim Knowles made Ne-Yo give Beyoncé writing credits for all the songs he wrote on B-Day, her best album, and that was 8 years ago, and Ne-Yo never wrote for again.
Wow.
Although many of these situations of her getting caught with her hand in the cookie jar are just mere allegations, they get more backing when you find out other celebrities have also called her out for many things in this line. The single ladies singer has been called out by songwriter Tiffany Red over publishing royalties paid out by the superstar. In a lengthy video posted online, Red criticized several artists, including the Queen Bey herself, for taking songwriting credit where she claimed it wasn't deserved.
Should not be too much to ask a queen to modernize her business and pay songwriters a livable wage.
Wow. See, and you know what? Shout out to Tiffany. We got 11,000 people. I think 1,100 people in here. Salute to Tiffany, because Tiffany spoke out and she wasn't afraid. You got to understand, when people like her speak out, and Cassie and all these different people, Cat Williams, they giving other people the courage. The courage. Because I had no idea Beyonce was doing this. I swear to God, I really didn't know. I was listening to the music. That's why it blew my mind when Jay-Z made that big-ass deal at the Grammys, talking about my woman, she done been this or that, and there ain't nobody giving her credit and all of this shit. Come to find out, that wasn't even her music that you was standing up there screaming about. It was their music. Yo, this is pure survival at this point.
Online, Red criticized several artists, including the Queen Bey herself, for taking songwriting credit where she claimed it wasn't deserved.
Should not be too much to ask a queen to modernize her business and pay songwriters a livable wage. It's not too much to ask. She made 5.
The Grammy-winning songwriter criticized the likes of Zendaya, Tamar Braxton, and Seven Streeter for taking a percentage of publishing on songs they didn't write or produce. Red then aimed Beyoncé for similar practices. The reason I called out Beyoncé is because Beyoncé is the Michael Jackson of our generation, she said. I talked to somebody yesterday who's the manager of somebody who's a writer and producer on Renaissance. The record is one of y'all faves. The song was written 6 years before it got to Beyoncé. She got 25% of the song. She continued saying, I spoke to another writer who wrote and sang on one of y'all favorite songs. Credit not right, his business all effed up. Beyoncé was on tour last year with that record with that person's vocals. Tiffany Red, who has worked with the likes of Cassie and Jennifer Hudson, added, the reason why people who work for Beyoncé don't talk is they're all on NDAs, because that's how she works. She silences people so that nobody can speak. It's one thing to hear that she's not the best person to be in business with by people outside the industry, but when the person spilling the tea is also a Grammy-winning artiste, what do you think the chances are that they'd be lying? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Right. So we on Janet. I'm glad Janet Jackson. Salute to everybody in the building, man. Smash that like button and share this video. You know what I mean? For Janet Jackson to step up like this and help the young people survive Jay-Z's hairstyle and survive Thief Anse and survive Thief Anse, we must show love to Janet Jackson. We must.
To be honest. And I don't think I'm
You don't lie, Janet? Are you out to hurt people's feelings?
Janet Jackson might be America's sweetheart, but when it comes to seemingly calling Beyoncé out, she spares no expense.
Okay. She was supposed to perform at the party, but she missed it because of it was storming in New York, and
So you just saying she's irresponsible?
I'm not saying she's there.
Yes, she is irresponsible, man. Salute to everybody. We survived Jay-Z's hairstyle, and we're going to continue to survive, guys, as we move forward. The industry, everybody's being exposed right now. You know what I'm saying? We're surviving. I think, is that Beyonce's head and legs over Terrence Howard's neck? He ain't been the same since. Terrence Howard lost his mind after Beyonce put that hot box right on his shoulders. Yo, but anyway, guys, thank y'all for coming. Be back at you soon. We are surviving Jay-Z blackballing in the industry.